Greetings fellow Decepticons, Soundblaster 1987 here with another Shokugan Modelling Project or SMP model kit review. This time I'll be looking at the Giraffe and Deer Zords from the GaoIcarus or Isis Megazord combination. Unlike the previous Wild Force model kit reviews, I'm going to be doing this one in 3 parts because of the extensive amount of other features and such like that these particular components are capable of. I want to be able to show off everything completely for each component without the entire review being one very long rambling video, because I'm well aware of the attention span issues with my viewers sometimes. So, I'll be covering the Giraffe and the Deer Zords in part 1, the Rhino and Armadillo Zords and the Striker Mode configuration in part 2, and the FalconZord and full GaoIcarus combo in part 3. So, moving on. First, the Giraffe Zord belongs to the Blue Ranger as a secondary arm weapon and normally replaces the Blue Shark as the right arm of the Wild Force Megazord when used. For articulation, there's a ball joint of the neck, a telescopic piston thing within the neck for a final attack with a spear mode gimmick. The mouth opens if you can get your fingernail in there. There's also a hinge at the neck, like so, for turning it into a forward-facing arm. There's also swivels at the shoulder and a hinge at the elbow, more for transformation than actual articulation, but you can pose them in sort of mid-walking type positions if you so choose. There's also a slight hinge at the tail, which is also on a sliding joint for transformation, which I'll get to shortly. If you so choose, there are also rotation and hinge type joints in the middle for the elbow joint of the arm mode. Then there's also the swivels at the hip and the rear knee for kicking poses to show it kicking a monster from behind or something. So to transform the the Giraffe Zord into its arm mode for spear configuration, bring the shoulders all the way forward like so, and flip the front legs in like so. Make sure they're straightened out. Fold the head all the way up and bring the neck down like so. Then bring the rear legs all the way back, like with the SPD K9 cannon roleplay weapon that I've already reviewed, or the D bazooka to use the Deck Ranger term. Then gently wiggle this joint like so to make an elbow. Sink the tail in on itself with the sliding rail system, and then this socket here will plug into any of the shoulder ports on the Wild Force Megazord, Predazord, GaoGiraffe and Isis Megazord combinations, and Animus of course once I get around to reviewing him. Finally, cover the giraffe head with this spear helmet like so. Sliding it in so this bit in the middle goes between the two forehead nubs like so, and it will click into place. And now we have the Giraffe Zord in spear mode. Hang on. What am I doing? So, in order to properly show off spear mode, I have the Wild Force Megazord here, so if I dislodge the Shark Zord for the time being, I can attach the giraffe like so to the same shoulder connector port where the blue shark once was. Wild Force Megazord, spear mode. Now for the final attack, there is also this translucent effect part of the blade thing with a rushing energy type thing going on. This pegs into a little 5mm port underneath the helmet like so. And now you can use the telescopic feature for the final, final attack, long reach spear mode configuration. Like so. Put that off to one side. Next, the Deer Zord. Very similar articulation and engineering, but instead of the telescopic neck, this time you have a swivel and a outward hinge at the antlers to turn them into a claw for the final attack of the clutcher mode configuration. It does also have an opening mouth, although the head can't really move enough to use it properly. You have to get your fingernail underneath this tab on the chin here to get the opening mouth to work. Then, as with the Giraffe Zord, there's also the downward neck movement to make it look like it's grazing on grass or something. Then there's the shoulder, elbow, hip and knee hinge swivels. So to transform the Deer Zord into its clutcher mode arm weapon form. Same as before, fold up the front legs like so. Bring the head down. Rotate the claws forward like so. Fold back the rear legs into position. And make use of this little rotation joint in the middle here for an elbow. And if I bring in the evil Predazord for a moment, swap out the wolf, and now we have GaoHunter clutcher mode. One thing I forgot to mention with the giraffe just now is that both of these arm configurations have a bicep swivel cut as well for more expressive range of motion. The Deer Zord doesn't have any additional features for the clutcher mode final attack like CGI addition, effects parts and such like, but you can angle and reposition the grabber claw as you so wish for the posability of the design in question. So that concludes part 1 of the GaoIcarus review. I have been Sandblaster1987. Join me next time when I'll be reviewing the Rhino and Armadillo components and GaoKing striker mode. Until then, till all on one, and may the power protect you, always.